The rain came down in sheets that night. Cold, relentless, merciless. Ethan Blake wiped grease from his hands and glanced at the flickering clock on the garage wall. 11:47 p.m. Another late shift. Another night spent fixing engines to keep the lights on. Outside, his daughter Lily, barely 7, was sleeping on a makeshift cot behind the office partition. She always said she loved the smell of Daddy's cars. Ethan smiled softly, though his eyes betrayed exhaustion. Since his wife passed 3 years ago, life had become an endless blur of work and worry. He locked up the shop, pulled on his jacket, and was about to head home when headlights flashed across the lot. A sleek black sedan rolled to a stop. The driver's door opened, and out stepped a woman in a soaked designer suit, heels clicking weakly against the puddles. Her makeup was smudged, and her hair clung to her face. She looked lost and broken. "Ma'am," Ethan called, frowning. "You okay?" The woman hesitated before whispering, "My car. It stopped working, and I don't really have anywhere to go tonight." Ethan blinked. "Nowhere to go?" She nodded, hugging herself tightly. Can I sleep in your car? Just until morning." He froze. No one had ever asked him that before. Not like that. She looked fragile, but there was something more in her eyes, shame. He hesitated, then gestured toward the office. "Come inside. It's warmer there. My kid's sleeping in the back. Just don't mind the mess." The woman's lips trembled. "Thank you. I'm sorry to bother you." As she stepped into the dimly lit office, Ethan caught her name from the briefcase tag she clutched. Olivia Hale. He didn't know that name yet. Didn't know she was the CEO of Hale Dynamics, one of the biggest automotive tech companies in the country. To him, she was just a soaked, scared woman looking for shelter. He handed her a blanket. "Here, sit by the heater. I'll make some coffee." Olivia murmured a quiet thanks. Watching him move around the small office, his motions steady, kind. The sound of Lily's soft breathing filled the silence. "She's beautiful," Olivia whispered. "Yeah," Ethan said softly. "She's my whole world." Olivia's eyes watered as she watched the man kneel and tuck the blanket around his daughter. Something in her chest cracked. A memory of her own father, long gone, who used to do the same when she was small. That night, for the first time in years, the CEO who owned everything realized what it felt like to have nothing. The morning sun cut through the clouds as Ethan poured 2 cups of coffee. Olivia stirred awake, blinking at the sound of laughter. Lily had found a box of nuts and bolts and was building a castle on the floor. "Morning," Ethan greeted. "Your car's battery's dead, but I'll get it running." Olivia smiled faintly. "You didn't have to. I'll pay." He shook his head. "Don't worry about it. You look like you've had a rough night." Something in his calm tone made her throat tighten. After a moment, she said quietly, "You have no idea." Ethan didn't pry, but as the hours passed, little pieces slipped out. Her board of directors had voted her out of her own company, the company she built from scratch after a hostile takeover. Her closest partner had betrayed her. And to top it off, her fiancé had left her the same day, claiming he didn't sign up for failure. She'd driven for hours, crying, until her car died. She had nowhere to go, no family, no friends she could trust. Ethan listened in silence, fixing her car piece by piece. Finally, he said, "Sometimes life breaks down just like this engine. You don't throw it away. You rebuild it, stronger." She looked at him, eyes glistening. "You really think people can rebuild too?" He smiled faintly. "That's all people like us do." By evening, Olivia's car was running again. But she didn't leave. Instead, she offered to help clean the shop. "It's the least I can do," she said. Ethan laughed softly. "You? The kind of woman who wears $1,000 shoes." She smirked for the first time. "They're ruined anyway." That night, they shared takeout noodles and stories about Lily's school projects, broken dreams, and the kind of small joys only simple people understood. And for Olivia, who had spent her life surrounded by power, luxury, and loneliness, it felt human. When she finally left, She slipped a note under Ethan's coffee mug. Thank you for treating me like a person, not a name. Olivia. But as fate would have it, that wasn't the last time they'd see each other. 2 weeks later, a shiny black limousine stopped in front of Ethan's garage. The door opened and out stepped Olivia. But this time she wasn't lost. She was back, confident, dressed sharply, and beside her, a man holding a camera. Mr. Blake, she said with a smile that lit the room. I think it's time I return a favor. Ethan blinked. Olivia. I'm not just Olivia, she said softly. I'm Olivia Hale, and I'd like to partner with you. Ethan couldn't believe it. Partner? With me? I'm just a mechanic. Olivia shook her head. You're more than that. You fixed my car. But you also helped me fix something inside myself. I want to invest in this garage. Expand it, modernize it, make it something special. A place where people like me can rebuild too. He stared at her, speechless. Over the next few months, Olivia became a regular at the garage, but not as a CEO. She scrubbed floors, took calls, laughed with Lily, and brainstormed late into the night. They redesigned the business together. Olivia used her connections and expertise. Ethan brought heart, skill, and humility. Soon, Blake and Hale Motors became a sanctuary, offering free repairs for single parents, training for underprivileged youth, and a safe corner where stories of kindness replaced corporate coldness. But somewhere in the middle of those late nights and shared laughter, something deeper began to form. One evening, Olivia stayed late, helping Lily paint a mural on the garage wall. A giant sunrise with the words, "Rebuild with Heart." Ethan watched them from a distance, Olivia's laughter echoing through the place that once only knew silence. He realized she didn't just rebuild her company. She rebuilt his life. Weeks later, as they locked up the garage, Olivia hesitated by her car. Ethan, she said softly, I used to think success was about money. Now I know it's about people. He smiled. Guess we both learned something. Lily ran up to Olivia and hugged her legs. Don't go. Olivia knelt, her eyes misty. I'll never be far, sweetheart. Then she looked up at Ethan. Unless you want me to stay. For the first time, Ethan's strong voice faltered. Olivia, are you asking what I think you're asking? She smiled. The same soft, fragile smile he'd seen that rainy night. Let's just say I'm tired of sleeping in cars. He laughed, pulling her gently into his arms as Lily cheered. Yay! Family! And as the three of them stood beneath the neon glow of Blake and Hale Motors, Ethan finally understood. Sometimes the people who seem broken are the ones who help rebuild you. Not with money, not with power, but with kindness.